Today I have such a fun lesson for you. This is a lesson that maybe if you're super cooperative and good and you get all your homework done, you might get to even watch the movie. So if you open this up, anybody have any idea where I got this idea from? What movie did this come from? Boo, Monsters, Inc. So I'm going to show you how to make your own little Monsters, Inc. Mine's probably a little bit big because now you know what my surprise is behind that paper. But I'm going to show you how to make your door, and then we're going to be able to design our own monster behind and even give us some background on the shelf. So I want you to grab your sketchbook. I'm just doing mine on a separate piece of paper, but you can do this in your sketchbook if you want to. If you're feeling like you want to do it on a separate sheet of paper, you can do that too, but you have your sketchbook. This is where it goes inside. All right, friends? Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is take an old paper bag. So you need to go ask a grown-up if they have an old paper bag in your house that you can use, and you're going to cut it up. And the first thing I'm going to do is just cut off the bottom of it. And if you need help, I want you to make sure and ask for help, okay? So we're going to go ahead and cut the bottom off of this paper bag. Set that to the side. And then I'm going to have you go to one of the corners and cut that off. And if you're at home with your brother or sister or a cousin or a friend, then maybe, or even mom or dad might want to do this with you, you can go ahead and ask them to help you. I'm going to carefully pull these off. But you can save this paper bag and then they can use part of it too, right? Because I don't need all of this. So I'm just going to find, now that it's open, I have a long piece of paper, which I can do really cool art projects on too. When you look at the Claire Young animals, this would be a really fun drawing surface to do some of the Claire Young animals. So if you've already done that activity or you haven't done that one yet, you could go back and look at that one, and this would be a fun, paper bag would be fun to use. So I'm just going to kind of look at the size of my piece of paper with my paper bag on top of it and look to see if I'm kind of filling up my whole space. And I notice that it's pulling over, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use my Sharpie or a pencil and make a little mark to tell myself I need to cut my line, just so it fits on my paper. So I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to make, this is going to be my door. Okay. And you can trim your other side if you're feeling like it's not super straight. Okay, so now I have a door, and I'm going to turn my paper bag into a door. So I'm going to move this out of the way just so that my Sharpie doesn't leak through onto my artwork. And I'm going to grab my Sharpie. Now remember, if you don't have a Sharpie, you're going to use a black crayon. That would be a great thing for you to use. Broken crayons still color, so here's my black crayon. I'm just going to use a Sharpie because that's easier for me. Here is the door that I drew before, but boys and girls, your door doesn't have to look the same as mine. I'm going to show you how to make these boxes that make it look like little panes inside of your door, but yours doesn't have to be this way. Maybe yours has one big box here and one big box here. Remember, this is a closet door, so you probably don't want to put a window in it. I put a little lock on it too. And when you open it, then you see inside my closet. Or it could be your bedroom door too if you wanted it to be. So on this one today, I'll just show you a different way of making some door. But I want to, well, actually, I want to show you how to make that square. So I'm just going to make a long rectangle. Remember, it's got 2 long sides and 2 short sides. And I'm holding my paper portrait style, okay? That would be landscape. We don't want to do that. We want it portrait style so it's more like a door. Once I get my rectangle on here, I'm going to draw a smaller rectangle on the inside of it. So I've done that. And then I'm going to draw a line attaching each of my corners. Now that gives it the look of it being set back into my door. It gives my door dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and add another one here. Now, if I were really lucky and my mom or dad or aunt or grandma let me watch Monsters, Inc., I would be able to look at some of the doors that they had on there and think about how I would want to make mine look. Maybe when I'm done, I even color it purple. I don't know. You have to think about it. I'm going to show you another way, a different way my door could look. Now it kind of looks like a face, doesn't it? Kind of silly. I'm going to make that same pane at the bottom. There you go. Okay, and then using my Sharpie, I'm going to put a door handle And maybe I'm going to make this one a little bit more round. My other one was square. I'm going to put the door handle right in the center with a little line across it. And then I'm going to put a little lock down here at the bottom. A lot of our doors don't look like this, but it'd be fun if we had an old house where that did that. Now I'm going to pick up my crayon. You may already have your crayon, and I'm going to use sort of a dull side of it. I see this round flat side. I'm going to do that to make my coloring not quite as sharp. I'm going to use it as a shading for my door. And you don't have to do this part, but I am. You could do little lines. If you look at my other one, I just drew lines in it, but you could go ahead and do a little bit of coloring on this one if you wanted. I'm going to leave the inside of my door brown. This is just sort of to give it depth and dimension, little interest, okay? And then I might even pick up my marker again and give myself some hinges where my door would be hooked up to my wall or my door frame. All right, so there you go. That would be what my door would look like. So now I'm going to set that to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and get my piece of paper. And I have to decide, what do I want my monster to look like? So on this monster right here, he's green, and we're not going to attach this yet. We're going to draw him first. He's green and his mouth is open, and maybe it's a girl. I don't know if that's a tail or a ponytail or what, but you can decide what you want your monster to look like on this page. And mine's in the closet, so here's my pile of laundry, and here's my laundry back here. So I'm going to show you how to draw a monster like this one, but if you want your monster to look differently, you can, okay? It doesn't have to be just like mine. So I'm going to use a black crayon to draw him, and you can go ahead and use a Sharpie if you want to, but I just decided I might use my black crayon. I'm going to start off by making 2 big eyes. Now from here, making my 2 big eyes, if I wanted to, I could have my monster be really fuzzy. His eyes could stick off the top of his head. I have a lot of choices in how. So you can see on this one, I made 2 lines go down on each side of his eye to make us almost like a little long rectangle to attach to a big circle. And that's how I made his eye. But maybe I don't want his eyes to be attached to his body, so I might do something different. I'll show you how to do this one though. 2 long rectangles, and I'm going to attach him to the body. Now maybe I want this body to have fur on it. So maybe instead of making a smooth line or a straight line to make my circle, I'm going to make him have fur. Maybe he isn't going to be a circle this time. I want you to be able to see both of these. Maybe he isn't going to be a circle. So there's so many ways I can draw my monster. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. His eyes might be down here in the middle. He might be big with monster eyes coming out. Maybe he has more than 2. You get to decide. Maybe he's a smiling monster and not trying to scare you. So I'm going to have some legs. He's going to have some kind of chubby legs like this come down, with some stick legs underneath him, sort of like a chicken. Kind of looks like a funny little bird. So I'm going to have him look like that right now. I'm going to give him a big, wide mouth. All right? This monster's mouth was wiggly. See, I made a wiggly line all around it. This monster's mouth is going to be more smiling, even though he's supposed to be scaring you. I got to give him some big teeth. So when I decide to color my monster in, I have a couple of choices. I can color him in with my crayons, and that's what I did with this one. I colored him in with my crayons. Or you can use the watercolor that I showed you earlier on your watercolor palette, or if you made homemade watercolor, you can do either of those. But for those of you who don't, just color him in with crayons or with markers. I think he'll look fantastic that way. I'm going to go ahead now. Oh, he needs some arms, doesn't he? So let's give him some fuzzy little arms coming out, and maybe a paw with some claws on it. He's looking pretty friendly for being a scary monster, isn't he? That's because of the way I made his face. You can make his face and it will change everything about how he looks. Okay, oh, maybe some eyelashes. We'll do some different eyelashes this time. All right, so there we go. There's my monster. Now behind, he kind of looks like a crab now, doesn't he? All right, behind him, I'm going to give him my horizon line. And remember, my horizon line is going to show me that this is my wall and this is my floor. And our horizon line always needs to be above where his feet are, or else it will look like he's floating above this ground. And I don't want him to look like that. Now, if I were going to go ahead and give my monster some other background, maybe I'm going to put a closet shelf in here behind him. And I would like to give a big laundry basket. So I'm going to pick up a blue crayon. And I'm going to go ahead and draw one line at a little bit of a diagonal, and another line at a diagonal, and a line across, and a scoop. And that's going to go ahead and give me the illusion that I have a basket. And I'm going to make it wire. So it's going to have crisscrosses on it. And then I need to put some dirty laundry in it. Hopefully, you're not keeping dirty laundry in yours. Hopefully yours is all clean. And then as I add my dirty laundry to it, what if my dirty laundry is stinky? I could put some stinky smells coming out of my dirty laundry. Hopefully we're washing it and doesn't look like this, right, friends? Okay, so I have some of that. Maybe I need to put a few things up on my bookshelf, up on my shelf in my closet. Here's how we can make a hanger. We're going to make a hanger where we just make a little bit of a hook and we make a triangle. It's a long triangle. And that looks like it's a hanger hanging on the shelf up above. If you wanted to put some clothes hanging on there, you could too. Or you could just put a couple empty hangers because look where all your clothes are. They're here dirty. Maybe up above I'm going to put a box. Do you see how I use these broken crayons? Please don't think they don't work. I want you to know. Maybe this is a shoe box and it's storing some old toys that I want to save. I'm going to make it into a box. Put a little rim on it. All right, so you're going to decorate it however you'd like. What's another idea? Oh, a ball. Maybe I have I don't want to jump on him. A ball sitting in here. That's kind of a big baseball, but that's okay. Okay, so I want to go ahead and do that. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to color it all in. And by coloring it in, it's really going to make it pop off my paper. So I want to use really bright colors. One of the things I want you to think about when you're coloring is if I use marker, it's really going to stand out. If I press hard with my crayon, it's really going to stand out. I put details in here. Look, I gave him spots, this one. I even gave this one a tail. So you can see the difference between the two. And remember, I told you, your eyes can be anywhere. They don't have to be just like mine. And I want you to color that in nice and bright. We don't want to leave white showing unless we want white to be there. So you're going to just take those crayons and just color, 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 really making it look bright and fun. This should take you a little bit of time to do. Shouldn't be done super fast. Take your time. Makes it more fun when you have really nice artwork in your sketchbook. All right? All right, so pretend I've colored everything. You're going to have colored all of your pieces in. You're going to have given it all. Make it look really gorgeous. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get that glue out, and hopefully you have glue or a glue stick at home that you can use. And you're going to get your glue out, and you are going to glue down your door. So you're going to take your glue, and you're going to do dot, dot, not a lot. Remember, we do not need to make messes at our mom's tables here or at our kitchen counters. Dot, dot, not a lot, all the way along the side that has our door hinges on it. And I'm going to very carefully lay it over my picture, press it down, and then when I open it up, surprise, think about how many different monsters you could make that could be hiding back behind in the closet. Think about all the things you have in your closet and what you could put in your background. All right. Friends, I hope you have a really good time making this today. Remember, you can pause and stop and go back at any time, and you can make so many different ones. Remember that you can use markers with it, you could use crayons with it, or you can paint it with watercolor. Have so much fun, and I look forward to seeing what you create.